of course, how exactly do we go into transitioning now? So once you listen to the audio, you will understand why we need to go into transitioning now, like why it has to happen yesterday. So we are going in the interest of that last video that we watched. If you listen to it to its entirety, you can understand why we are here, because all you will be talking about afterwards will be transition now. And no government, you don't need any government approval to transition. You don't need their permission to do what you need to do, and we are going to give you those steps so that you can stop waiting on the God and stop bothering God. He's not going to come down. He didn't come down for 500 years when they were coming to take your brothers and sisters in sheep called Jesus, throwing half of them in the bush, throwing half of them in the water, killing them when they got here. He didn't come. He was busy eating his coconuts. Because when you're eating things that make noise, they also mess with your brain. So God is eating coconut. He's not listening. His ears are plugged.
Somebody is saying, Ogene Atuba is saying, what is the solution for us to be free after they have hijacked our country from us? So you pay attention to the show so that you understand. Pay attention. Always pay attention. If you have been paying
attention, understand what the issue is. So you can ask, subsequent question based on what you've heard, not just
exactly. Don't just open your mouth and just say, "Oh, I want to ask question." Pay attention. I know some of the Maggi people used to cook and all these chemicals, it damaged our people's brain. Their attention, they can't pay attention. They hear, but they can't pay attention, because the essence of paying attention is so that things will make sense to you. Some of the questions that you even ask, you get the answer by yourself, and you know that, okay, so this is the problem and this is how we will solve it, and then let me be part of it. So please, Ogene, pay attention to today's show and other shows that we've been, because this is what we do every day, every Saturday when we come. We'll tell you what the problem is and give you the solution and tell you your part in that solution, because nobody will do it for you. You're not hang somewhere, one God will come and do it, or maybe somebody will come and do it. No, you are an indigenous person on your ancestral land. The right to self-determination is yours, but there is a process to exercise that right. This is why we come here every Saturday, to get you educated and enlightened, so that you enlighten other people. Thank you, my sister.
Welcome to the show again.
To what we placed before the country since December of 2020, the 5-point proposition that would define that transition. How exactly do we get to it? How exactly do we manage it to arrive at the objective, at the goal of reworking what is wrong with union? I'll take it straight from how we first put it. We said, number one, a formal announcement acknowledging the constitutional grievances and sovereignty dispute now declared by the people of the south and middle belt of Nigeria. Acknowledgement of constitutional grievances that have now become a dispute formally declared. Number two, a formal commitment to the wholesale decommissioning and jettisoning of the 1999 Constitution as the basis of the Federation of Nigeria, as was done by the government of apartheid-era South Africa in 1990, to commence the process by which the apartheid constitution of the then South Africa was eased out. Simply put, a commitment to decommission the 1999 Constitution, unitary constitution. Number three, a formal announcement suspending further general elections under the disputed 1999 Constitution, since winners of such elections will swear to and govern by that Constitution. That's self-explanatory. To put a time frame for when these things that have been outstanding since 1967 will be done. Because that was what we went to discuss in Aburi. How do we relate in our union? Or has the union collapsed? Therefore, summary of number three, a formal announcement suspending further national elections so that we can go and do the business of reworking the business of our union. Number 4, and that's where we've arrived now, because everybody can see that the constitution is gone. Everybody acknowledges, everybody now agrees with us that that constitution has to be thrown into the dustbin. And everybody, those who were thinking that they should get to election first before we go to that discussion, election has come and gone. So can we now proceed with the business? So number 4 is, that is the content. What is this transitioning that Ninas is talking about? And how will it be initiated? We said a formal initiation of a time-bound transitioning process to midwife the emergence of fresh constitutional protocols by a 2-stage process in which constituent regional blocks will, at the first stage, distill and ratify their various constitutions by referendums and plebiscites, and in the second stage, negotiate the terms of federating afresh as may be dictated by the outcomes of the referendums and plebiscites. A time-bound transitioning. That is, we have suspended, we have agreed that the election is not the way to go. We are now saying we will, in this period, we can say it is 3 months, because all the work has been done since NADECO became PRONACO, and all of what we did to become MNN and NINAS, and going to court in 2007, going to the international arena, getting the UN instrument, and all of what the work has been done. The draft constitutions are in place. The charters of relationships in the ethnic regional blocks, where, for instance, in the lower Niger, you have the George Urobo, the Hanang, the Efik, the Igbo, the Shekiri, everybody on his father's plot, holding on to their sovereignty and their, father's plot, to discuss with their neighbors and document how they can relate, how they can federate. If the rest of Nigeria, if we agree to continue in any form of union, like Germany and France and Portugal doing European Union, those will be our own dictation, as agreed amongst us. It's not anybody else's business. And so it is in saying that time-bound transitioning process, is what has to be, introduced. It's what has to be initiated now in place of the election that has gone bad. We're no longer talking about suspending. We're no longer talking about, let's not go to election. We have gone to the election has collapsed. And we can see that it is because of the constitution that the election collapsed. And so the business to be done now, no other business will be tolerated. No other business will be tolerated, including patching up things to see whether we can get a better election. For what purpose? Under what constitution? To govern who? Which space? Number 5, a formal invitation to the people of South and Middle Belt of Nigeria to work out and emplace a transitional authority which shall specify the modalities for transitioning process, including composition and mandate of the transitional authority, as well as the time frame for transitioning and other ancillary matters. In bracket, we had said, having concluded consultations with key segments of society, these propositions now constitute the 5-point agenda of the Nigerian Indigenous Nationalities Alliance for Self-Determination, NINAS, and will be pursued most vigorously until realized. This was in December 2021. We were telling everybody that it has come to where we've concluded all the waiting and consultation with other people. The nationalities are now to go and do the business by themselves, whether government comes or not. If let nobody think that what Ninas is saying must wait for when government repents and comes. The nationalities own their sovereignty, inalienable. They own their right to self-determination, inalienable. The fact that they have worked out all the processes among themselves, and those who are pretending to be government in Abuja and the state capitals are refusing to come to deal with it, in confiscation of our sovereignty. That's what they are doing. They are defying us. They are defying all of us. Those of them in government house, pretending they are now the owners and custodians of our sovereignty. The National Assembly, inclusive, they are all defying the sovereign constituent components of Nigeria, the people whose sovereignties have been consolidated into the Nigeria that is now disputed. Those who were elected to, who were sent to deputize, to represent them, are now, confiscating their sovereignty and staying in the distant land to say, we now own all of you. That's what everybody in Abuja is doing to the people they claim to represent, whether they are president.
Whoa. Yep. So we can no longer afford to be ignorant as to what's going on.
No.
So for those of you that are still confused about what we're doing, you will tell us to break it down and don't mention your name, no worries. We have enough information for anyone that really wants to understand, because you guys have time to watch all the shenanigans going on online, people shaking their noses, their eyes, their ears, the Hollywood people, they have 1 million followers. If you want life and want life abundantly, you have to spend half of the time, let me not say an equal amount of time, half of the time to go and listen to something that will give you life and give you life abundantly. There is no reason why you are on economic exile when your nation has the same oil that Dubai has, Qatar has, they have the same gas. Why are you on economic exile when they are living as princes and princesses? And we're here arguing. So let's move forward with our topic of the day. Please continue to help us to share, hit the like button. You know they don't want us to get this information to our people. There's always a distraction. I was doing something on YouTube. I usually watch things about how they did what they did, right?
Yeah.
And the video, they brought a video of a random person and said recommended to me. And this is somebody that I've never watched before that has nothing to do with the things that I'm interested in. I said, this is how they do it. This is how they dumb down our people and recommend videos that will steer you away from things that you're interested in. So be alert.